In the news tonight, a man gunned down in his stall in the Old River Van Stand. Fathers celebrated and encouraged on their special day. And in sports, West Indies men break their 6-game losing streak in T20 internationals.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
And very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, Father's Day activities were marred by the brazen killing of a man who was gunned down in the Old River Van Stand in the city. Police Public Affairs and Communications Officer Inspector Ryan Brathwaite says the incident took place at 7:29 a.m. The lifeless body of the man, whose identity has not yet been released by lawmen, was discovered by police inside his stall.
Our initial investigations have shown that the deceased, who operates a stall at this location, was inside the stall when two men approached on a motorcycle. One of those men disembarked and discharged a number of shots, fatally injuring the deceased in the process. Our forensic team is currently at the scene. We've secured the area and investigations are continuing.
Police are asking anyone with information that can assist with their investigations to contact the emergency number at 211 Crime Stoppers or the nearest police station. Meantime, the fatal shooting on Father's Day prompted an appeal from Inspector Brathwaite, noting that the senseless loss of life is not what Barbados wants. He's encouraging fathers to have conversations with their children.
This is a productive life lost within our community, and we cannot afford to continue on this path. So we want to appeal to our community, to all right-thinking Barbadians. Let us have this conversation. One community, one happy community, one productive community. Let's save our community.
Well, there were several other messages for men across the various denominations this Father's Day. Various churches acknowledged the role men play as they were recognized during Sunday service. Fathers and all father figures were encouraged to be an inspiration to young men. This was conveyed by Anglican cleric Reverend Canon Mark Harewood at the Cathedral Church of St. Michael and All Angels.
Let us be inspired today. Let us be inspired today to be better men and to be better fathers. Let us look up, be in awe of the one triune God who reveals to us what it means to come together in love and to affirm each other. And to do this, of course, for our young men and for persons within our society, so that they too could come to that understanding and to be drawn in worship and in service.
Over at the Methodist Church, Reverend Derek Richards, Bishop of the South Caribbean District, said God has invested in fathers and men the gifts to create loving, caring, and well-adjusted families.
But it takes some effort. It takes deliberateness. It takes intentionality. It cannot and will not happen by chance. It will not and cannot happen by us not investing ourselves, our time, our gifts, our graces, our abilities. I am submitting to us today, especially to the men. I'm saying that God has so positioned you, that God has so gifted you, that God has so enabled you to be a co-creator with God in creating wholesome, dynamic, loving, and well-adjusted families.
And as men were encouraged to fulfill their role, they were also celebrated. In fact, one restaurant says that Father's Day celebrations has become as popular as Mother's Day celebrations. The Radisson's Hotel General Manager, Jerry Lewis, says while their restaurant is normally fully booked for both days, the Mother's Day luncheon is usually sold out much quicker than the Father's Day lunch. However, he says not so this year, and this time around, fathers are being treated like kings.
The reservations were quite strong, and what we found is that Father's Day used to be, so to speak, running a distant second to Mother's Day. But what we found, as you can see here today, that fathers are being brought out, fathers are being dined, fathers are being celebrated, and it's so wonderful to see that fathers and father figures are being recognized, and their families are bringing them out and having a wonderful time.
An attack on a nurse who was on her way to work at the district hospital in St. Philip prompted a swift response from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Acting Permanent Secretary Wayne Webster, while condemning the attack, told CBC News counselling has been made available for all affected staff at the institution. It was on Friday night that the nurse encountered an assailant just outside her workplace and suffered what CBC understands to be non-life-threatening injuries.
The first thing that the Ministry of Health and Wellness has done is ensure that our staff who may have been terrified by the events that unfolded were exposed to counseling services on Saturday morning. And we have also determined that those staff members who were on duty on the Friday night that are off now on the weekend, they will return to work on Monday night, and counseling will also be made available to them as well on their return. We have also made provisions that individual members of staff can also access counseling on their own should they determine that they are still in need thereof.
Mr. Webster also says new transportation arrangements have been made to make the journey to work safer for staff.
In addition, we have made arrangement that the members of staff of the St. Philip District Hospital, who usually take public transportation to get to work, will be provided with transportation from a central location at 6 roads that would take them into the compound of the St. Philip District Hospital, so that they would no longer have to traverse the road leading to St. Philip District Hospital with any degree of fear.
Barbadian consumers will pay less for gasoline and diesel, but more for kerosene and liquefied petroleum gas or LPG products from midnight tonight. Gasoline will cost $3.93 per litre. That's down 3 cents, while diesel will cost 13 cents less to sell at $3.27 per litre. Kerosene, meanwhile, will go up by 1 cent to retail at $1.27 per litre. The adjusted price of LPG will now be $163.92 per 100-pound cylinder and $46.08 per 25-pound cylinder, $40.71 per 22-pound cylinder, and $37.01 per 20-pound cylinder. Coming up, elder abuse still a major concern. An Anglican cleric suggests something has gone wrong in the world when a day has to be added on the calendar for elder abuse awareness. Rector of the St. John the Baptist with Jesus, the Good Shepherd Church, Wayne Curtin, says every Barbadian should be concerned about what's happening with the elderly. He says Barbados is not immune to the situation, as he questioned why the elder folk are being abused. Reverend Curtin was delivering the sermon at a service to mark World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. It was organized by the National Assistance Board and its partners.
When I look at our society, I have to ask where we have gone wrong. There's a whole set of people that will want to point fingers and say government this, government the next. But I want us to come home to self and look at ourselves and the way in which we behave. Because if we don't change our personal behavior, then government can do whatever. Government can spend whatever. Things will not change.
MP for St. Thomas, Cynthia Ford, said the island is facing tremendous challenges with elder abuse.
I have been in the vanguard for many years, even when I was in the classroom, because I've seen some senior citizens who have been treated so unkindly. But within the last 4 or 5 years, it is the worst time of my life when it comes to observing what is going on and trying to work without, in the face of people, work to be able to help to allay some of the fears of those families that are suffering as a result of the ill treatment. And let me say, it is not only the strangers, it is not only some of the caregivers, some family members are the major ones.
A man has died after suffering what police say appears to be a medical emergency while driving, leading to a crash last night. Police Public Affairs and Communications Officer Inspector Ryan Brathwaite says its operations control was alerted of the accident with injury along Darrell's Hill, St. Michael, around 23 minutes to 8. Personnel from the Barbados Fire Service and Emergency Ambulance Service were deployed. Brathwaite says no signs of life were found upon examination by ambulance personnel.
A medical doctor was subsequently contacted. That doctor came to the scene, examined the body, and pronounced death. Our initial investigations have shown that the motorcar was traveling towards Bridgetown when it appears as though the driver had a medical emergency, lost control of the car, and collided with the cut rock at the side of the road. Investigations are continuing into the matter. We're appealing to anyone who may have witnessed this accident or have any information that may assist us to please contact the District A Police Station at 430-7242 or 430-7246.
18 young men and women showcased their skills in the inaugural Spirit of the Lion show by the St. George Secondary School in collaboration with the Community Independence Celebration Secretariat. At the end of it all, the pair of Gabriella Cummins and Daquan Ward, who represented the Rowans community, walked away as winners, as we hear from Akin Plinkett.
The inaugural Spirit of the Lion show was a night of color, fun, and demonstrated dedication to community. Competing on stage at the St. George Secondary School were 18 young men and women who were split into 9 pairs representing St. George communities. They showcased their formal wear, public speaking ability, and even their dedication to the communities they were representing. In the weeks before, the contestants had also engaged in a series of community work projects, including assisting some of the schools in the parish, such as Workman's Primary and the St. George Secondary. While they all performed commendably, at the end of the show on the big night, there could only be one winner.
The winner, ladies and gentlemen, with 1,437.5 points, representing the community of Rowans.
Deshaun Williams and Shekinah Taylor, representing the Salters community, took the first runner-up position, while second runner-up was the duo of Darius Davis and Summer White of the Allerton community. The Community Independence Celebration Secretariat believes that shows like these help to highlight the younger generation in a positive way. The show also featured performances from Peter Ram, Gorg and Tion Hernandez, who sang some of their hits as well as some of their new songs for this year's crop over season. Akin Plinkett, CBC News.
Harrison College A made light work of Combermere, winning 67-44 when the two teams met in the National Sports Council Under-17 school's basketball competition recently. CBC's Anne Margaret Boyce reports.
First half action coming your way. Brilliant move by the host. Isaac Griffith delivers the opening three-pointer. That set the stage for his teammate Darian Messiah to try his luck as well. From upstairs, put it on the scoreboard. Combermere started slowly, but eventually were up for the challenge. Nathan Selma makes the shot and gets the and one. HCA, however, continued to stamp their authority on the match. Jelani Miller to the cup, easy layup. Miller was in the mood, this time off the backboard and in. College A take the first half, 34-15. To the second half we go, HC on the probe again, and this is their main man. Jelani Marshall had 20 points in the game. That's 2 of those. Marshall was deceptive and tricky with the moves. Here he is again, escorted to the bucket. HCA with a commanding 27-point lead of 50-23 at the end of the third quarter. Comamere, though behind, remain positive. Sapar Howard with the shot and one. That's 2 of his 18. HCA went on to win the contest 67-44 over Comamere. There were so many good highlights, but this one took the cake. Marshall put in the icing on top. Oh my, what a play. And more Goodrich boys. CBC Sports.
Yeah, thanks, Anmar. Finally, jockey Slade Jones made a triumphant return to horse racing at the Garrison Savannah by piloting Zaid to victory yesterday in the co-feature President of Barbados Trophy. Going 1,100 meters, the 5-year-old Zaid stopped the clock in 1 minute, 05.2 seconds.
And they're racing and show the money. He was the fastest away from the gate. Zazie showing lots of speed early on the outside, coming across is Sir Jimmy, Caspian Sea as well. Behind these, the top-weighted Jerry the Nipper, break of 4 to Zaid, another length and a half before we get to Brilliant News. As they round the far turn, head up the hill past Brigade House. And the leader on the inside is Zazie, and on the outside, Caspian Sea. Sir Jimmy stalking these in third. Show the money is next. Length and a half to Jerry the Nipper, 2 back before we get to Zaid and Brilliant News. They grace towards the quarter pole. And it is Zazie and Caspian Sea who dispute the leader. Zazie falls away, Caspian Sea goes on. On the outside, Sir Jimmy is coming with a grand run. Show the money with a renewed effort. Jerry the Nipper appears 4 wide. And there are no more turns. And Caspian Sea is in command. On the outside, here's Jerry the Nipper. Show the money. On the rails, here's Zaid rattling home. It's Zaid on the inside and on the outside, Caspian Sea. Jerry the Nipper coming. But it's going to be Zaid. Zaid wins it by about 2 lengths. Tight second on the outside between Jerry the Nipper and Caspian Sea.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful evening.